the board. I want to thank the president. I want to thank Chairman Sculthorpe, my cabinet members, and most particularly the athletes and the coaches for really being positive and knowing that we were going to be in the right place at the right time and having confidence in what we believed in and what we knew would be a good outcome. And that's not just the football coaches, which I applaud you. You were positive all the way, but every one of your colleagues was sure that this was going to be a great outcome, and we couldn't be happier than to be here today. I would like to turn this microphone over to President Gaffney, who is just a solid supporter on this whole journey, and we're so pleased that he gets to make this announcement.
So, Commissioner Kallander, thank you, sir, for being here. Chairman Bob Sculthorpe, Chairman of the Board, many trustees. Tim, great to see you. Tim of Jax, and a former football player here. Members of the patient press, you guys, Tony, wherever you are, thank you very much for being patient. There have been, of course, rumors about some kind of movement like this, and solid reporting ruled the day. Thank you very much for that. And head football coach Kevin Callahan, and players back there, and all great fans in this room. This is an exciting day, new opportunity, new energy in Monmouth football, and the promise of nice weather for at least half of the football games in October and November from here on out. Not to mention that many of the games will be within an hour's drive of my new home, which is pretty nice. So allow me to officially thank the Big South football presidents for their vote of confidence this week. One of them, General Benny P., who's the president of VMI, is my former chairman of the board, Bob, and I know VMI was very supportive, and I got a call immediately from Dave DeCenzo, the president of Coastal Carolina, who stayed in the Doherty House and has played on this field, and we've played it in Conway. And within minutes of this agreement happening, he called and congratulated us on joining, and he knows us quite well, so that's great. And Kyle, thank you very much for your trip down here. You with Donnie White came to inspect us, and apparently you made a nice report, and that's good. It's great and speedy work. You'll find, I think, that we're the most impatient people you know, so we'll enjoy working with you since you were so speedy on this. The Big South is rather new in football, less than a decade, but they've been moving very fast in the FCS ranks and winning games in the FCS playoff, and we like that challenge. We like that forward look, that velocity that we see in this conference. So we, the university, have committed to ensure our scholarships, combination of merit and athletic aid. And merit's good news because we just heard in this room last week that Kevin signed 20 football players whose high school grade point average is 3.3, which means it's going to be pretty easy to make that goal, but we intend to meet FCS and Big South standards as far as scholarships go. We also commit to increasingly improve our home facility. Thanks to some very generous donations, we have already applied for zoning approval for a new sort of press box, restroom facility, and game support building. It's right in the back of the room. There are posters there. It is posted on the with the zoning board in West Long Branch, and we think that's going to be a great immediate addition. We have a very good field, one of the first to get artificial turf in our old conference, and we intend to keep it that way, and we want to improve the quality of our installed seating and use temporary seating, at least for a while key games are held here, just as we have done over the years. So we like the opportunities of the Big South and the challenges that comes from this new football conference and these new friends. And so, sir, I signed the document this morning, and I will give it to you to carry back to the president of your conference. Thank you.
Thank you, President Gaffney. Marilyn, thank you. Members of the board and all the supporters. Wow, look at this crowd. This is wonderful. This is exactly what we thought we were getting into, a great community that supports its football program. It's always a pleasure to be able to speak publicly about the Big South Conference. And if I can take just a minute to talk a little bit about where we are and where we've come from in football, I want to give a chance to do that. As President Gaffney mentioned, we've been playing football for 10 or 11 years now in the Big South Conference, which is really not very long when you think about it. I think it was about 12 years ago we sat down and we looked around, we saw we had 4 members that played football, and we had student athletes that didn't have a conference home, didn't have a championship to play for, and we said that's just not right. So we decided to take a leap of faith. We added football with just 4 schools, but we also knew that long term we were committed to the success of our football student athletes, our football programs at the highest levels of FCS. We added programs as we moved forward, grew to 7 teams, and as again President Gaffney mentioned, we had 2 teams in the FCS playoffs last year. We won 2 first-round games and were very competitive in the others. So I've seen Big South Conference football get better and better and better, and I'm so pleased with the job that our schools, our coaches, and our student athletes have done with our football programs. So it's with that perspective that we bring forward as we think about what's our next step. Where do we go from here? And as we look at expansion of the Big South Conference Football Conference, we want to make sure that we're bringing in people that make us better. But it's not just about success on the football field, which is certainly important. We want that commitment, we want that success. But we're a presidentially led league. Our presidents want to make sure that our partners are people that have respect, play with integrity, have a great institutional profile, have strong academic commitment. And so when Marilyn called last fall, she was exploring options for the football home, we began to find out a little bit about Monmouth University, because frankly, we didn't know a whole lot at that point in time. And as we looked, and as we studied, and as we evaluated, we just became more and more impressed with the university, with the leadership. And then, of course, we came up here last week on our visit and became very impressed with the commitment to FCS football. So it was a very easy decision for our presidents. And it wasn't just football presidents. This was all 12 presidents in the Big South Conference, because all of our universities, even those that don't play football, are interested in what's happening on the football side. So it was a very easy decision for our presidents to sit down and say, let's bring them in. They're going to make us better. They're going to be a great member of the Big South Conference in football. So I want to express my congratulations and my welcome to Monmouth University, the Big South Conference football. President Gaffney? Now to introduce Coach Callahan.
Thank you very much, Kyle, and President Gaffney, and Chairman Skalthorpe, members of the Board of Trustees that are here, and fellow coaches and administration, Dr. McNeil and Jeff Stapleton from the athletic department, and certainly Commissioner Kallander. All I can say is this is a tremendously exciting day for Monmouth University, and especially Monmouth University football. 21 days ago, our future was uncertain to the football program. We knew we were going somewhere, but we didn't know where we were going. And that caused a little bit of uncertainty. But just 21 days later, to be able to announce that our football program is entering into the Big South Conference is not only exciting, but it's certainly something that we're very much looking forward to. And I, for one, certainly appreciate the commitment of our Board of Trustees, of President Gaffney, of our athletic administration, for ensuring the success and for ensuring the future of Monmouth football. I know our football alumni is extremely excited. Tim Canavan, who President Gaffney introduced a few moments ago, is here, made the effort to come out today to be with us. I got a call last night at about 6:45 from Paris, France, from Miles Austin, who had heard the news that we were joining the Big South Conference. And he called me immediately to congratulate us and to say how proud and how happy he was of where we were going in football. Most importantly, I think that as a football program and as a university, we recognize the commitment that the Big South has to playing excellent FCS level football. and we're certainly thrilled to be a part of that partnership, to go forward and establish relationships with all of the members of the Big South, and we look forward to certainly competing on the field with some outstanding football programs. As the Commissioner said, they have been extremely successful, especially lately, on the FCS national level, advancing deep into the playoffs, and that we hope that as our football program grows, we will be one of those programs representing the Big South on the FCS playoffs in the near future. It's a great day for all of us. We really look forward to what lies ahead, and we're all very excited about that. Thank you. At this time, if there's any questions, I'd certainly entertain those. Jeremy.
I'm not sure who wants to tackle this. On the timeline, I heard last fall mentioned, and then I heard last week mentioned. So I'm confused as to when this whole process for this conference move started. I'm not sure who wants to tackle that.
Kyle?
It was a process, and it started last fall when I received a call from Marilyn McNeil about we're looking at various things that's taking place. And I certainly don't want to speak for Marilyn, because she can certainly do that. So that's when it really started. We got to the point where we were ready to come up and take a look, and that was actually last week when Donnie White, the athletics director of VMI, and myself came up. Our football presidents had had a conference call before that and said, you know, we want you to go up and take a look at Monmouth and see, you know, learn a little bit more and find out more about them. So, so that was, I think, the beginning of last week. Our presidents, just so happens, had a meeting already scheduled for February 12th, earlier this week, and so that worked out very well in terms of the timing for bringing this forward and getting their official vote on the matter. So that was the
For me, for Kyle?
What was the allure, the main attraction? What impressed you the most about Monmouth when you came up for your visit?
It was leadership and the people. I'm a firm believer that if you got good people, then you know it's a good program. And it's clear there was strong leadership from President Gaffney and Marilyn and Coach Callahan. They were doing things the right way. Secondly, it was the commitment that I heard loud and clear from them on what they were trying to do with their football program, no question. And then thirdly, certainly, was, as I mentioned before, the institutional profile. What are you really all about here at Monmouth? Because, you know, we don't know what the community is about here. We don't know what the culture is about here until we come up and really experience that. And so we really felt very good about all those aspects of the university, certainly.
For either Dr. McNeil or Coach, what about the Big South makes it such a good fit for Monmouth?
Well, from my perspective as the head football coach, it's a conference that's deeply committed to playing football at the highest possible level on the FCS level of play. It's a conference that is well coached from what we've investigated. We have had the experience of playing a member of the Big South in the past. In 2008 and 2009, we played Coastal Carolina in a home-and-home series. There are teams that play the game hard. There are teams that play the game the right way, just as the Commissioner said before. And it's an opportunity for us to continue to grow our program in terms of scholarship levels and facilities. So that's what really attracted me to it and why I think this move is such a great one. Do you need that?
I would add, too, that it's an opportunity for the university to head south. I think we've done a great job of infiltrating the Northeast, but this is a chance for Monmouth's name to get out in the South and to have a little bit of a different profile. Sadly, I know there's a lot of great New Jersey football players, and Kyle and I were talking about it earlier. Their coaches are looking forward to coming up and playing here. So we're going to keep all the New Jersey high school players out of the stadium at that time. But, you know, I think it's a really good opportunity for Monmouth's name to get out, and we don't I hope one day never have to hear, well, we didn't know much about Monmouth. So we're doing our best from an athletic standpoint to spread our wings and expand our boundaries.
Yes, Ed.
Coach, how will, and any of the administration can handle this, how will you handle the new scholarship rules? When will they take effect, and how will you handle that?
Well, there is a plan in place, a plan developed by Dr. McNeil and President Gaffney to increase scholarships as we move forward. In the FCS level, you're allowed a maximum of 63 equivalencies in the scholarship level. We won't go right to that number immediately, but we will build gradually toward that number. As President Gaffney said, using a combination of athletic scholarship dollars and institutional academic merit money. Our hope is that within 2 years we can get to the 57, or we will get to the 57 equivalency number, which will then allow us to begin playing FBS programs as accountable victory toward their bowl eligibility.
Okay, so you must increase to 57 by next year? Right, yes.
Yes, by 2014, yes. Jeremy.
A couple of things here. From an X's and O's standpoint, you know, how would you describe the style of Big South football?
From an X's and O's standpoint, Jeremy, we've only played one school that we've really studied, and that was Coastal Carolina. We have had crossover games where we've had an opportunity to see Liberty on film. A few years ago, we were able to watch Gardner-Webb. So it's a very good football. As I said, it's well coached. Interestingly enough, a number of the Big South schools have new coaches in place. The Liberty coach is only going, he was in his first year, correct, Commissioner, in 2012. Gardner-Webb just brought on a new coach for 2013, and Charleston Southern just brought on a new coach. And I might add Coastal Carolina's coach is in his second year?
The second year coming up.
Second year coming up. So they have a lot of new people leading their programs as well. So from when we last had an opportunity to study them, they're probably going to be completely different. Yes.
This one's directed to Kyle. Kyle, as president of Metropolitan New York Football Writers Association, I always think about the Metropolitan New York area. And since we've had dealings with the Big South in the last 3 years, would the motivation be at least possibly considering the New York presence of bringing Monmouth University in here so you can grow your South sports network?
That is absolutely one of the positives for bringing Monmouth University into the Big South Conference is the exposure in this tremendous market. Of course, Stony Brook was a member for the Big South for a while, and we've kind of dipped our toe into it already, and we're certainly looking forward to expanding that presence here in this market. Tremendous opportunities, certainly for us. We've been very aggressive with our presence, both online, television-wise, and certainly from a progressive marketing standpoint. So that part of it does not go unnoticed, and it certainly is very much a positive for the relationship.
We're offering our help in any way we can.
We'll take you up on it. Thank you.
Anything else? Jeremy.
From a travel perspective, how does this compare from, you know, from what you travel now to what you will be in 2014?
Well, it certainly there will be some longer trips, but when you look at it in terms of there'll be 6 Big South Conference games, assuming that 3 are home and 3 away. 2 of the schools in the conference, both VMI and Liberty, are in Lexington and Lynchburg, Virginia, respectively, and they're in that 6 to 7 hour range. It's a drive. That's no different than going to Pittsburgh. This year we went to Pittsburgh twice in the same year. The other schools are probably 11 to possibly 12 hours away. 2 of them, Coastal Carolina, just outside of Myrtle Beach. Charleston Southern, about 2 hours south of that. You've got Gardner-Webb, which is about an hour west of Charlotte, and you've got Presbyterian, which is about a 2-hour drive south from Charlotte. So those will be a little bit longer, but we've had years where we've gone to Coastal Carolina before. We've played in Maine before. We've gone down to Old Dominion. So it's going to be different. There's going to be a couple longer trips, but it's not as though every trip is going to be of that nature. And we will continue to play, just to get, to follow up on that, we'll continue to play on a non-conference basis. Our traditional opponents that we've played in the Northeast, members of the Patriot League, members of CAA, people from the Ivy League, and also possibly some members of the NEC. Any other questions? Okay, well, you want to close, Marilyn? I'll close. I think it's a, oh, wait a minute, Kyle, we got something here for you.
We can't let you go with
All right. The Monmouth University football cap. You look good, you look good in that. You look good, Navy.
We're excited. We're excited. Thank you very much.
We're all very excited. Thank you all so much for coming. It's a great day.